very special guest, Quincy Cage Jr.
Man, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. I know we've been trying to get at this for quite some time, but it's good to see you. Glad to see you doing your thing. I know you just recently finished, but you have one more year of eligibility. Virginia, University of Lynchburg.
Honestly, the move to Virginia was a great move, just as a person being able to move there. And the experience was good. Football quite was, kind of, a mid-experience just because we wasn't fortunate to have the nice facilities and all the nice things that most schools have. But the experience, the program itself, as far as the guys, man, it was good. It was pretty good.
But I know right now you're currently in the transfer portal. Just tell us what's that like, especially, being in college and having to pick and decide on what college and whatnot.
Um, to be honest, I feel like being in the transfer portal is a tough experience. It's not no easy thing. Like, it's easy to press the button to go sign your name and say I'm in the portal, but the experience itself is like nail biting. It's like being a freshman all over again, waiting on the offer, waiting on the opportunity, being evaluated. So overall, by me being in the portal, I can say I've done it a few times. It's changed. The rules have changed. A lot of things are different about it. So I can say right now it's kind of time to be in the portal because they can have whatever they want, like they pick a litter right here. You can get whatever you want, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many you need. So I can say that's the most difficult part about being in a portal now, and like how I feel about it now. It's kind of like messing up the game because you could just get up and move. You could just get up and leave and go do what you want. But at the same time, I understand because I've been in a position where things changed and it kind of messed me up. So it's kind of a 50-50 thing.
What do you recommend, for college athletes, especially because, there's a lot of players who are getting 6 years, 7, 8, 9 years of eligibility, just based off what you know about the transfer portal and how it's working with the NIL and all that stuff. Just what can you say to maybe suggest for college athletes?
Do your research before you leave. Do all the homework you can do. That's my first advice to you. Don't make a fast decision out of emotion. Check yourself first. Don't just, oh, it's because of this or that or this or that. Check your own background, check your own resume first. Then go out and be honest with yourself before you just go get in that portal. Because portal it's a business. It's a business. And everything and every inch and second matters when it comes to making a decision on a guy. So I think just do your homework and know what you're doing before you do it.
You're a first team all district, all metro selection. You also play basketball and baseball. So I want to ask you, just going back to your high school years or your early years of becoming who you are now, just what kind of led you to playing football? Because I know that you've had a lot of success in high school.
Football kind of built my character, kind of built it kind of gave me this way to challenge myself. Like if I say I'm tough, if I say I'm rough, if I say I'm this, I could go out here and improve it. I think that's what kind of led to it. I think me having a big influence on the guys around me, because in basketball, y'all kind of more individuals versus in football, like everybody kind of need each other to make anything happen. So I think just the leadership role I had to take on, the hard work I had to put into it, the toughness that came with it. And honestly, I started getting scholarships in football first. So when I got my first scholarship, I was like, man, I ain't gonna be 6'5". I'm gonna be 5'10" on a good day. So let me go out here and try this football thing. So I just continued on with football and I took it by the head and ran with it.
Football ended up being a very successful platform for you. I know that you attended a couple of schools, as I mentioned before. What have you made of your college experience?
Overall, I think if you look at the stats, it's kind of like, because of, everybody don't know the things that go into it. But I can say from my experience, if your child wants to play football, go to college and do this dream, it's a blessing. It's a real big blessing because it teaches your child exactly who they want to be and who they are. No matter what anybody else feel like they want your child to be or want them to be or want you to be, you find out who you are playing the game of football every single day. If you're not tough enough, you're going to find out. If you're not disciplined enough, you're going to find out. If you're not focused enough, you're going to find out. So I can say just my whole experience with college football, it kind of made me a better man. Whether I get the shot to play in the NFL or I get the shot to further my career or even play again, this upcoming season, I think my whole experience was a great experience. It was very tough, very extreme, very hard. It ain't easy. It ain't for the weak. But I can say that it honestly made me a man. It made me prepared for that will come in life. You gotta go through every type of adversity that come with the world that you think that you have to go through. Is people not liking who you are just because of who you are. People not liking you based off somebody else's opinion. It's just like, like going to a job, you could put your resume in, but you still got to go in there and have a real life experience with the people. They gotta, it's a lot that go into it. It's struggles that you didn't know came with football, but there are struggles that come with life. It's something that you learn. It's like, while you playing football, you can't really understand what's going on and why they doing this or why this is happening to you. But everything that's happening to you is happening to you for you, not to you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's my real experience and just starts on that. Just it's it's a struggle. It's a real struggle. Like I didn't sleep in my car with no scholarship to get to practice. I didn't, play hurt. I didn't play scout team for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of just blocking and catching and being, a scout team guy for guys to get ready for the game. When it come to playing, I didn't got to start. I didn't been a freshman that got redshirted. I didn't got hurt. I didn't play. I didn't bounce back. I didn't work hard. I didn't graduate. I didn't been in every experience you can be in when it comes. The only thing I didn't experience at every position. But as far as a player, the full experience, I could say I got it. It comes with the same struggles that you will have to go through in life. So if you think football is too tough or too rough or too hard or not your cup of tea, then life will be tough for you because that's the most basic form of understanding and teaching life to you could get. Prepare for like the politics of what comes with this. Like it comes with more than you know. Like a coach won't pick you based off of a lot of things that you would not think make sense or matter. Just overall, as a guy that been through this whole experience, been in college for going on like 6.5 years now, before you make a move in the transfer portal, do your homework, know you got somewhere to go, know where you're going make sense, know some people over there, make the best decision. As far as playing time and things of that nature, it's really in your hands. It's really about how you handle it. It's a business. You can't go in the locker room and not be a good guy. You can't go in the coaching room, coaching staff's room and not be a good guy. Can't go in the weight room and not be a good guy. You got to be a good guy and a great guy in every aspect of it. So it's a lot when you think about it. It's just not about how good you are, because that's what my mindset was. I'm really good. Like I'm really good. Like could play ball. So it's like I didn't think about, oh, I gotta be, a more open guy in these situations, scenarios, because I'm just like, man, I'm here to play ball. But it's a business. You gotta know how to work your way in there. You gotta know how to do the things you need to do to get where you gotta go in a positive way while being a positive influence. So that's how I started the Point Guard Otto thing, the patience, growth, overcome. It came from that. Like my whole experience with football, the things I learned in football to a positive thing, because going through what I'm going through, most kids would quit, cry, break, or go through a tough time. And you go through those moments, but I just wanted to find a positive outlet.
Yeah, you just mentioned Point Guard Otto. I know you're an artist as well, and I know
Yeah.
you got a clothing brand too.
My dad, my uncles, real big on music, big on sound, big on speakers, big on cars, stuff like that. So it started there, just riding around my daddy, just liking music. Then my little brother and his friends started playing around on like FL Studios and stuff like that. One day my little brother come in the room, he like, man, help me with a song. I helped him a little bit. He like, man, it's so cool. But I'm, man, in there, all right. But then years go on, we just kept buying studio equipment, kept making music for like the last 6, 7 years, just like making music for nothing, just making music, making music, making music. And then my brother was just like, bro, you really good. Like my other brother was like, man, you really good, but he rap too. So he like, man, all of us just start doing it. So we really just started doing it. And I just kept doing it, kept doing it, kept doing it till I wrote a song that a few of my partners was like, bro, rap. So I started rapping, I started doing it. The clothes was before the rap, in the sense of like I put the clothes out to the world first before I started dropping my music. And going into the music, it took a long time. Like I ain't dropped music for about 6, 7 years before I started doing it now, like on Apple Music and putting it out there and stuff like that. And it really just came from my neighborhood, my city big on music, and really expressing myself. Because when you going through college, you don't really have time to sit down and express yourself, wanting a place to put my mindset without being judged.
I had a chance to listen to a couple of your songs.
Yeah, it was an EP, man. I just wanted to get an EP out there and get some feel for the music, but also introduce people to me, my story of what I'm putting out there as Point Guard Otto, who Point Guard Otto is, the things that I, want to see in life and the things that I want to do in life, but also trying to make the titles of the songs stuff that people really are after. Like we talk about money, where you been, like where yourself been, where have you really been as a person, where you been in your heart. Like that's where that came from. Then bands was just like everybody trying to get some money. Everybody trying to get to a lot of my songs are just trying to reach the youth while still being hip hop and rap. But I still got that feel, that hip hop feel, but also dropping some jewels in your head. Like, okay, like I don't have to do this to be this. I could do this and be this. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different forms of being who you want to be. So that's why I try to drop the music the way I do. Put the music the way out I do. And I'm getting my master's in business, so that's why I say a business, man. Like, give me a business, start me something, give me a clothing store.
You're from Kennard, Louisiana, you said?
Yeah,
Being that you're from there, what's it like?
Lil Quincy and Pigs bouncing castle. I go there. They got like fire food, fire stuff like that. I go to. Let me think, man. They got a place called Shush Nachos in the city in Kenner. That's kind of fire. Um, what else, man? As far as like spots in the city, food spots. Lee's Seafood. That's a fire spot out here in Kenner. Manchew's Chicken in the city, like downtown New Orleans area. That's good. Who that? Jay's Creole. That's real good. Mm, Don Seafood is real good. Landry's. They got fire spots out here. Like everything really seafood, gumbo, chicken wings, Kool-Aid flavored drinks. Like, it's kind of like a big kid. You could be a big kid here. They got everything.
Being that you're from Kennard, Louisiana, I gotta ask, what's it like there and what's the vibe? I know it's not too far from New Orleans, but what's the vibe out there?
I mean, to be real, it's not as fast as New Orleans because New Orleans is fast. New Orleans is the big city. It's this fast, but it's the same thing. Like honestly, because it's not far. We got like project buildings, we got like hoods and stuff like that. It's the same thing. It's just not as fast or big. You gotta have your head on being out here. Like you gotta know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and how you're doing it, and who you're doing it with. Cause yeah, it's a fast city, and it's what you read. I ain't gonna lie to you. What you read on the internet and what you see is. I don't think I saw a video about my city that was fake or exaggerated.
In regards to your success about football, in whichever college pick, what separates you from the rest of the pack?
What separate me, I'ma say, is the experience that I could bring to your team. I done been on 2 championship teams. UTSA was a championship team. Nicholls State won conference. I can bring that morale itself. My hard work, the ability to always be where I gotta be. Like I ain't a guy you gotta look for. I'm not a guy you have to worry about. I can see also just like my leadership, all of it ties back to leadership. So I can say that. I can say just individually my game. I'm definitely a quickster. I'm definitely a guy that could go east to west with it. I'm definitely a guy that could go north to south with it too. So I didn't develop the jump ball. I could go get the jump ball now. I didn't develop as a receiver. I'm kind of a guy that you don't have to develop. I'm a guy you really just gotta give me in the playbook, tell me where you want me to go type of guy. So I think that's what you would be getting. You would be getting a full package. You're not getting something that you would have to build. You would only have to coach.
Been at various different colleges. Is there a favorite college that you've gone to that, and just, what have you learned from just attending a lot of these colleges? And
Oh man, I could say VUL was probably the worst everything outside of my teammates. My teammates at VUL kind of was like they kind of like one or two. Then my UTSA teammates, like I don't know, I can't really like I can say just as far as a football player, VUL because I got to really be myself. I got to be a star. I got to play. I got to do what I wanted to do. But as far as the full experience, UTSA any day of the week, UTSA because that place was something that changed my mindset about myself.
presently, right now, I know we talked a little bit earlier about just what's going on with you and your career right now in football. Just what's going on these days with that.
Personally, I'm in the portal and I'm in touch with schools, contacting coaches, just waiting on a definite answer. I mean, I could walk on anywhere if that's what I want to do, but I'm trying to, use my experience to get me, a good situation.
And as far as your future plans or your future goals, what can we be expecting from you? I know you got a lot going on right now, but what can we expect of you in your future? A music career, a football career?
Uh, I mean, I've been doing both for like the last 3, 4 years now, and it's kind of tough. My plan was to, use football to get me in the position to be able to work with, top artists and top musicians and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say probably more along the music career now because with football being the way it is, I'm really waiting on, a reply from kind of waiting on some schools. So I can say I've been focused more on my music than anything last couple months and stuff like that. Like I've been focused on that. Like the last year, I've been more focused on my music. Like even with me playing at VUL, that experience was kind of so bad that like it was kind of like a wasted season. Like we didn't really have, much of a situation. So I can say I've been leaning towards music more. Yeah. Future just being on the top of my game, running my brand as far as a person, as far as if I'm playing ball, if I get the opportunity to play ball again, it's gonna be full ball while I do my merch. My music would be my hobby on the side. If ball never come back, I take my music, move it up a notch, go straight to my music, do my clothes, and I've been doing it to where like this wasn't something I'm just sticking my hands in a bunch of pots. This was something I like actually sat down and was like, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna do it. Because I see a lot of guys doing it, like CD Deuce for the Lions. He do it right now. He's a professional football player, making music, doing tracks. It's kind of football, not even really sports are kind of like it's like entertainment now. It's kind of not even just the sport itself no more. It's kind of like a whole dynamic. So I thought about just making myself bigger with me not having the stats to go behind my name. Let me show another talent, until I can show and display my football talents, let me show my other talent until I can shine. I can see that my plans to do both until I can't. Like I can't really tell you I had a plan on dropping one or giving up on one. Now I'm just chasing my dreams.
As far as who you look up to, inspirations wise in football and in music.
Football wise, I'm mostly thankful for my father just for showing me the game, putting me in the game, giving me the game. But I can say my high school coach was a big influence as far as like teaching me how college is going to go for me. Even before I got to that experience and went through my ups and downs, he kind of gave me a decent blueprint. So I could say I thank him for that. My high school coach, like my dad, my high school coach, and all my like park ball coaches, like every one of my park ball coaches in my neighborhood, like anybody that I ever ran across, they always train me up for this opportunity in these moments and where I'm at right now.
As far as your music inspiration.
Music, I can say came from Juvenile, Lil Wayne for sure, like the whole hot boy era, just being from New Orleans, being from this area, being from here, like that. I can say a lot of Future, a lot of old school, bro. Like, I can say like a lot of old school New Orleans music, like was big for me. 'Cause my daddy was big on it. So before I even started listening to my type of music, my age group music, I'm listening to old school music and different type of music. So my friends looking at me like, man, what you be listening to? So I can say probably the old school era, kind of, Lil Wayne, Drake, Young Roddy from my neighborhood. He was with Currency for a while. Like anything that came from my city, like that was the influence on me and my music, just wanting to be a musician. Cause for us, it's not about the fame. It ain't really about the glitz and glamour. Like when I see us rapping or people from my city rapping, we rap in our life, like our true story. None of this stuff is no like made up. Let me draw some stuff for the crowd to like. Like they spin real pain, they spin real facts, they spin real life. So that's what I can say. My influence was my city. Like my city is my influence. My city is everything. It's everything behind me. I can't say nothing else. I can't think of nobody or nothing else that influenced me in no other areas. Model my game after. I can say Sterling Shepard for sure. I could say Antonio Brown for sure, man. One time he actually followed me on Twitter. I went crazy for like a month when he followed me. Who else I like? Really, really like. Like I mean, dissected the game. I must say probably it. That's probably it. Probably them two. Probably them two. And Joe McKnight. Joe McKnight from my neighborhood. I can say that was a running back. So yeah, Joe McKnight and them. Yeah. Man, appreciate you. Thanks for having me.